Hey everyone and welcome. Thank you for joining us today for today's tooltip session. My name is Martin and I work in customer success here at Crowdmark. Every Tuesday, we highlight a unique feature within Crowdmark that will help you maximize your workflows. And today we'll be taking a look at using paper-based multiple choice questions, also known as bubble sheets, with a focus on automatic grading and an in-depth analytics in our platform. Now, before we begin, I just want to point out that there is a feedback survey that I've previously sent in the chat. So we are always looking for ways to improve. So if you do have any time to fill it out after today's session, that would be amazing. So our goals for today are to learn how CrowdMark supports multiple choice questions for paper-based assessments in our administered in-person workflow, as well as how to create, grade, and analyze analytics for multiple choice questions. So how do multiple choice questions and bubble sheets work on CrowdMark? Multiple choice questions are automatically graded by CrowdMark, which will save you a lot of time as an instructor or grader. You can easily update answer keys at any point in time, and CrowdMark will automatically update the scores after the answer key has been updated. You have flexibility when it comes to assigning different point values to each multiple choice question in the assessment. You can assign penalties for incorrect responses within our multiple choice settings. And you can adjust your setting options for questions with multiple correct responses. So what are the benefits of bubble sheets? Well, firstly, they are seamless to scan. No special scanner is required. They do not require any special paper, so bubble sheets can be printed on regular assessment paper. They're not limited to only multiple choice questions, so you can also use them for true and false questions as well. You can grade non-multiple choice questions with CrowdMark tools. CrowdMark also supports multiple choice in online remote assessments, so it's not just for in-person exams. There is no extra cost for this, as all features are included in your institution subscription. You receive advanced analytics for multiple choice questions and responses left by students. And of course, CrowdMark is integrated with your LMS, which is your learning management system at your institution. So this means you can sync your students over to CrowdMark and export grades back into your gradebook seamlessly. So let's go ahead and take a look at this short video illustrating how to set up multiple choice questions within your administered assessment in CrowdMark. So as you can see, you'll begin by creating and uploading your assessment template as usual. Next, you can choose whether or not your assessment has any multiple choice questions. If so, note that CrowdMark supports up to 100 multiple choice questions in a single bubble sheet or 200 multiple choice questions in two bubble sheets. You'll see that once we do generate a preview of our template, CrowdMark will generate the following things. So one, an auto matching section on the cover page. Two, QR codes on all pages. And all of that is followed by a bubble sheet at the end of the assessment for your multiple choice questions. So once generated, we can download the booklets. Now, another thing to note when setting up multiple choice questions is setting up the answer key to allow CrowdMark to automatically grade each question. So for each question, you can simply select the correct answer. You can also select multiple correct answers. Back here in the settings, you can edit some multiple choice options. So you can choose how much each question is worth. You can also choose to deduct points if a student selects the wrong answer. And if your questions contain multiple correct answers, you can also choose to let your students select the multiple options or just one of the correct options on the bubble sheet. So going back to our bubble sheet, you'll notice that the changes have been reflected and that each question is now worth 2 points. So let's take a look at some tips for working with multiple choice and bubble sheets in our administered workflow. So something to note is that correct responses, settings, and points can be updated at any stage of the assessment from the questions page, and any changes will be reflected automatically to update the score. Note that reviewing unclear or incorrect responses is a very simple process. And if you'd like to see a list of our best practices for scanning bubble sheets, you can just view our scanning requirements here, found in this link. And this link will be provided to you in the follow-up email after today's session. Now we have another video, so let's take a look at that. And this video will be illustrating how to resolve unknown multiple choice responses. So we can see that our bubble sheet has been scanned, and so a few responses are unknown because they haven't been properly filled by the student. And as a result, CrowdMark could not identify these responses. So there is a question mark beside each question that is unidentifiable. And to resolve this, you would select clone or edit evaluation, enter in their chosen response for them. And once you do that, the score will be corrected. So again, resolving unknown multiple choice responses is very easy. Does anyone have any questions so far? Okay, so we'll move on to the next slide. So lastly, we have our analytics that can be found on the results page of the assessment. And this can provide you with further insight on how your students or class performed on the multiple choice questions. So our comprehensive multiple choice analytics will provide you with key statistics such as the median score, highest and lowest score, standard deviation, and upper and lower quartile. It'll also provide you with the frequency of responses, including percentage of students who answered a certain response, as well as the difficulty, distractors, and discrimination of each question. And so you do have the ability to export the student in question data to conduct your own analysis for filing or record keeping purposes. And let's quickly take a look at this final video on some analytics available to you within CrowdMark. So as you can see, we have the distribution of scores graph, and you can go ahead and share this with your students should you decide to. If you click into questions over here, you can see the correct answer for each question in dark green, along with how many students have selected it. And you can also see other answers that students may have selected, which is shown in a lighter shade of green. And then lastly, we have diagnostics for our questions. All right, so that concludes our short tooltip session today on multiple choice bubble sheets. Does anyone have any questions or comments? Again, if you do have time to fill out the survey sent in the chat, that would be greatly appreciated. And if you do ever run into any issues, you can always email us at support@crowdmark.com and include a detailed description of the problem, screenshots or videos if possible, and a direct link to the CrowdMark assessment in question. Once we have all of that information, we'll be able to assist you as quickly as possible.